What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Steven Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel, the sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever it is that you get around to watching this video. Once again, Steven Hyder, Gate City Sports Channel. Listen, a lot of new faces who are subscribing to the channel, guys. First off, thank you so much. I recognize you guys are subscribing. I really do appreciate it. Look, it helps us out, guys. If you are new to the channel, look, if you like this video, please consider subscribing. That's, subscription does more than you know. To all my OGs, thank you guys for smashing that thumbs up button, man. I know you guys do it each video. I really do appreciate you guys. It means the world. Y'all know that. All right, guys. So yesterday we did a live kind of last night tackling this idea of the backup quarterback position. We kind of got off into the weeds and started talking about, some of the wide receiver prospects and whether or not we're going to be running, more 11-man, whether we're going to still be primarily a 12-man, are we going to see more two-back sets? I mean, we really got off into the weeds for a little while, which I enjoyed. I love the conversation. But I want to bring us back, guys. I might surprise some people. I am really big on the defensive talent in this draft. I think wide receiver is ridiculously deep. Don't get me wrong. I think you can pluck wide receivers straight up all the way into the 5th round. I think you can really pluck wide receivers out of this draft. With that said, man, there are some really dynamic football players from small schools in this draft. Everyone talks about the Isaiah Simmons, and dude, I would love to get my hands on Isaiah Simmons. No doubt about it. I made a video about him. I don't think it's reasonable, but man, that kid is a special talent. 4.39 in the 40. I don't know what position this kid can't play. He's ridiculously talented. With that said, I want to bring up a guy today. I want to talk about one of these guys today that's another one of these special talents. He's a fast guy. He's a physical guy. And he's just ridiculously talented. He's a really good football player. He's from a D2 school, a teeny tiny school that used to be a junior college in Lenoir-Rhyne here in North Carolina. So, listen, we're going to talk about Kyle Dugger today because I got to tell you, I like what I see from this kid. It's a little hard. You got to dig deep in his film. You got to be a little trustworthy because you're talking about a D2 player, but nonetheless, that's today's topic. And yeah, let's get to it, guys.
Starting to really come on. See what Jordan Love could do now on 3rd and 1.
Guys, Kyle Dugger is just one of these special talents, I think, that's in this 2020 draft. I think his stock is starting to rise because people are figuring out what he is. I'm hoping that 4.4940 maybe calms expectations and causes a kid like this maybe to fall to the 3rd or 4th round. Right now, he's earmarked for the end of the 2nd round, beginning of the 3rd round. So we'll see if that changes some things. But this is a kid that I think would fit what Philly does it very well. Now, there's going to be questions about Kyle Dugger. Do you play him as a will linebacker? Do you play him as an in-the-box safety? Okay, he can play both. If you go back to the Senior Bowl, you can see they played him all over the place. They played him in a nickel. They played him a little bit as a strong safety coming down. They played him as a will linebacker. I mean, they moved him all around. And I think the kid can play all 3 of those positions. I think this kid is very, very well suited when you look at his measurements to play in a zone system. So just take a look real quick at who this kid is from a physical stature standpoint. This young man weighed in or measured at 6'1", 217 pounds. Easily could add another 5 to 10 pounds to that frame without a problem. Could probably even bring himself down another 3 to 5 pounds if he had to. His arm length, 32 7/8 in the arm length. He's got the reach, guys. He's got reach. This is very important for his zone defense because you want to close in windows. His hands measured in at 10 3/8, okay? He gets those big paws on the football, he can grip it. And then his overall wingspan was 78.5 inches. This man is a aircraft carrier when it comes to his wingspan. This is the kind of kid you want to play inside of zone defensive coverage systems because he makes that window, that throwing window, very difficult for quarterbacks to throw into. This is the type of guy I think the Eagles need to be more diligent in their scouting and find and identify guys like this. I think sometimes we get a little too cute with things and we don't really look into, okay, Let's look at the system, look at how we're trying to play, and why does this person fit or not fit? I think sometimes we've been guilty of just throwing guys in that are kind of man concept guys, throwing guys in there zone concept guys, and not really putting the pieces all together. I think we're really guilty of that in the past. Now, his combine results, they were up and down. I mean, he had some good things from his combine. He had some bad things. He ran a 4.49 40-yard dash. Some people thought he was going to run faster than that. I'm perfectly fine with a 4.49. That still makes him faster than guys like Rasul Douglas. He's still faster than Jalen Mills. I mean, the kid's got speed. 4.49 for a kid this size is a fast 40 time. He put up 17 on the bench. I thought he might do a little better than 17, but who am I to criticize a dude putting up 225 17 times? I damn sure can't do it. So, kind of keeping that in mind. He has a 42-inch vertical. This kid can, not only is he lengthy, this kid can jump. This kid can really, really jump. So, once again, this idea of closing in the throwing window. And he had a 134-inch broad jump. That's not bad. It's not great. But, this isn't a wide receiver. We're talking about our running back. So, I'm not overly concerned about the broad jump number there. Look, he runs a 4.49 40. He's got a 42-inch vertical. He's got a over 78-inch wingspan. This is a kid I really like for the Philadelphia Eagles as either kind of playing that weird Malcolm Jenkins role as a strong safety, nickelback, kind of will linebacker, Sam linebacker. I think he's decent at the stack technique. I mean, he's good at getting those hands up, stacking and ripping past those linemen. He can get a little better at the stack and shed. But look, there's something here, guys. I like this young man. I think this young man is going to be a very good football player in the league. The problem is we're not the only team high on this kid. Seattle wants this kid bad too. And that's where you got to watch is that last pick in the second round with the Seahawks. Because that's where they're projecting him right now. So we have to see. Now look, Seattle's got a lot of other holes they got to fill. That defensive line is about to go through some changes there in Seattle. So if they can't address that need in free agency, I don't think they got any business playing around with the safety in the second round. But just keep in mind, they're high on this kid too. So that's going to factor into his value. Because if he gets past Seattle, I can see him slipping down far in the third round.
Kyle Dugger, who we mentioned earlier, the DB from Lenoir-Rhyne, back to return.
By the way, if you didn't already think this kid was an amazing prospect already, look, he's a contributor on special teams. He can return punts. I'm pretty sure he can play kickoff return. He can play coverage on that. I mean, the kid is really good. This is a kid that you can take and free up other players on your roster to make plays while he is developing. So even if he's not a day one starter on your football team, he is a kid who can contribute no matter what right away. I mean, this is a kid that allows us to do certain things. He allows us to take certain players off the football field, right? We're not sitting back there, with our hearts wrenching that one of our, necessary players like a Boston Scott or, you know what I mean? Like a Greg Ward Jr. can suffer an injury fielding punts. Like he allows us to keep that kind of flexibility within the roster, which is, it's a really nice feature to have, especially from a young kid coming out. That was a major thing that caught my attention about this young man.
Back to pass, Jones looking downfield, has time, throws it downfield, and it is caught.
I apologize, guys. I know that sounds like a high school football game being called, but keep in mind this is Lenoir-Rhyne versus St. Augustine's College. So, yeah, it's not. This is not a very big school here, guys, that we're talking about. On this play, if you're watching, look, he's playing off coverage. He's playing down. You can call him a nickel. You can call him a safety. Either way, he's playing inside where most of us project him to play. And I got to tell you, at first, I was like, he didn't really read that so well, but he stays in position. He keeps his concentration. And then watch the final results of this play, guys. This is what makes, Kyle Dugger a special player. So I just want you guys to kind of follow along and watch how this play finishes itself.
Dropped and intercepted. Picked up by Dugger. He's going to go into the end zone. Touchdown.
There's always risk involved when you're dealing with prospects coming out of these very teeny tiny small Division II football programs. I don't like going out on a limb for people. I don't. So much is left. The right fit, the right approach to the football game, the right coaching. I mean, just so much that goes into making some of these guys become stars in the NFL. With that said, every single part of me when I watch film, and I know it's against really bad level talent, screams out at me, remember this name. Remember Kyle Dugger's name. It just screams out at me. It's all over the film. And look, I got peeps who played at St. Augustine's College that I used to work with. I know them. I know some of them played on the football team there. So, man, you know, I know that St. Augustine College, and, keep in mind, I got people that played there. I know it's not the greatest level of competition. With that said, man, this kid, Kyle Dugger, just looks special in football pads. I know it's like watching a senior in high school play against, a fifth grade elementary class. I get it. But man, I got to tell you guys, sometimes your instincts just take over and things start screaming from your inner core about a player. And that's what's happening to me when I watch film of Kyle Dugger. This kid is going to be very, very good in the NFL. That's my projection. All right, y'all. But let's roll into the question of the day. All right, guys, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate your views, guys. Look, if you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It helps tremendously, guys. All my OGs, please hit that thumbs up button. You already know what it is. It's how we communicate with YouTube. YouTube takes this and then pushes it out across the platform. All right, the questions. So number one, what are your thoughts about Kyle Dugger? What do you think about his athleticism? What do you think about his length? What do you think about his fit inside this Philadelphia Eagles zone concept scheme? How do you what do you feel about him? What are your overall thoughts on this young man? Number two, are you somewhat concerned about the level of competition he faced at Lenoir-Rhyne? Like I said, it is kind of like watching a high school senior play against, fifth grade elementary students in a game of football. It's hard to judge it. That's why I was trying to pull from the scouting combine, right? I was trying to look at different places where you could see him stack up against competition that's a little more favorable towards analysis. And that's always going to be a concern with a Division II player. I mean, obviously. And then number three, what do you think about his drafted value? This is a guy I'm desperately hoping slips down into the third round. I don't think you touch a guy that's this much of a project in the second round, but man, this is a kid. If you get this kid in the third or the fourth round, guys, I would be really excited. I mean, this kid can just flat out play the game of football. So let me know your thoughts. Y'all know what time it is. It's time to hop off of here. And I close my videos by doing a little something where I go EAGLES. All right, y'all. Let's go Eagles, guys.